Thank you, Jesus. It's March the 5th, 2023. Here we go.
We're doing genealogy that month. Come here, Dominic.
What's up, cuz?
Hey.
How y'all doing?
How's everybody doing?
Okay, got you over here. You getting rain down there in San Diego?
Oh, yeah.
Been getting a lot?
We got our share.
Yeah. We've
And
had ours here too.
And the cold,
That too.
that's okay. You know, I can survive.
I know you came from Omaha.
Yeah.
Anybody from there can survive all the rest of that nonsense, that's for sure. How's the family?
Oh, the family's doing fine. We're staying focused and looking out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And preparing for a good spring.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Get ready for it. How's the garden coming?
My cars.
No, the garden.
Oh, my garden is doing fine. Every break I get, I believe in planting every day.
Yeah.
If I'm up to my daughters or vice versa, I plant something.
Okay.
And sometimes the weeds outgrow my planter beds.
Yeah.
So what I do is I make sure I plant in my planter beds when I get to the weeds later. I got to make sure I get that food in there,
Yeah,
That's
the
old
weeds.
farmer's trick.
Yeah, the weeds will take over, man.
Huh?
The weeds will take over.
Oh, no stuff, man. Especially with all this rain.
Right. Yeah. They
So
don't need much to survive. All they just need to do is just get some water, man. They just take over everything else, man.
That's why I had to balance it out. I said, I got to keep going now.
Yeah.
And then my help, I have, different help. And so once I can get my people in, they help me do some of the work. So
okay.
It's all good.
Yeah. Well, at least you're getting something out of the garden. You're getting something back.
Oh yeah, I had year round. Like my tree collards, the Georgia tree collards. I had them year round, and so there's this one nutritionist. He says G bombs, greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, and seeds, and berries. So all that.
Okay.
Those things are really help. You are what you eat.
Oh yeah, you can tell that with a lot of people out there. You can tell they're eating everything they shouldn't be eating.
Yeah, got to be disciplined.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the hardest thing to do when you want to eat everything that tastes good. That might not be the best thing for you, but you're eating it anyway.
Yeah, or that's convenient.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, you eat everything that's convenient, you're going to end up with a lot of problems that you really don't need.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, good. Well, I always know you got the gardens going on out there, so that much I do know.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I'm a farmer. In all those the census that we would look at, using our research, all of our ancestors, when they looked at their occupations, they were farmers.
Farmers, huh?
They were farmers, and we got away from it once we got in these cities and got with the jobs and everything, and I sort of got away from it. But like in Omaha, where we were, we did have on our properties, we did have enough spots for gardens.
Okay.
And my grandfather, we had a homestead for him, a homestead out in South Omaha,
Okay.
and had quite a few acres out there. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had the farm side, and he had extra farm machinery, and my dad got a tractor from him.
Okay.
So he would come over into the city. He would have the tractor, and we would go around in the city. They would
Mm-hmm.
plowing yards for individuals to have their own gardens.
Okay.
And my brother Steve took over after that.
All right.
So you got to hustle.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's the main thing, man. You got to cut some, not cutting corners, but you do some things that'll save some money.
Yeah, and my other uncles were they were barbers. They worked
Mm-hmm.
during the day in the packing houses, and in the evenings,
Right.
their trade, they were barbers.
Yeah.
So it's in our blood, and then it got a little bit more sophisticated when we had a service station, a service station, and then we would have sort of like a little
They,
jitney service, a
yeah,
jitney
I know they
service.
ran the. Yeah, I know they
Like they
ran
have,
the. Yeah.
yeah, the modern day lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, because black people, those cabs and all that, they didn't have as much access, so we had they would call it a delivery service.
Uh-huh.
So
The
many
jitney
people
stand.
call in, and different people in the neighborhoods with men and predominantly men. They sign up and they'd go pick up the people and take them, the neighborhood people to where they needed to go.
Okay. Now your grandfather that had the tractor, was that on your mom's side?
On my mother's side, the Gildens,
Okay.
he came up and migrated up to Omaha, and most of our relatives during the Great Migration, they came to Kansas City, Oklahoma first, from Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas City, up to Omaha, and up to Detroit and Chicago. That's
Okay.
where the jobs were.
Right.
So a lot of our DNA relatives, a lot of people who are sitting here, did you see on the screen? Their relatives migrated to those different cities, and so that's how we found out that we were relatives, and their ancestors worked in those different trades through migration.
Mm-hmm. And they wanted to get the one thing I know they wanted to get out of their country life, because that's hard work, man. And it's backbreaking, because they did everything by hand. They didn't have tractors and mules or anything like that to plow the land. So it was a lot of hard work.
I think the worst part of it was they were sharecroppers. Most of
Right.
them were sharecroppers, and so they got loans from the white people in order to plant their crops and everything. But if they had a bad winter or big frost or flood, things like that, well, they lost their crop and they still owed the white man money.
Right. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part right there.
Yeah.
And I witnessed, from my grandmother, Ethel Burnell,
Mm-hmm.
when she, when my uncles and dad, and they brought her up to Omaha. There were some Burnells there, and there were some Mosses there that we didn't know about. At my generation, see, a lot of information it wasn't shared. So
Okay.
that's why now, it's imperative that we share with our kids what we know, and use this science and this technology to bring them up, and
Mm-hmm.
also enlighten each other.
Right.
And what would happen is she would want to go. My grandma Ethel Burnell would want to go back to Arkansas and visit her sister, and she didn't want to take a plane. So what that meant is her sons, they would pony up their money, and one of them, they all had cars, and one of them would take her down there. And the majority of the time, it was Uncle Hubert, your dad,
Oh, okay.
who would take Big Mama down to Arkansas, and Aunt Pat. And so that's how we got started in the genealogy. He was the genealogist. He would travel. And
Okay.
usually that's what happens in the families. One person starts traveling more than the other person and starts acquiring, keeping the connections. Because if you don't, somebody doesn't, it's lost.
Right.
And on that same level, my Uncle Hubert, your father, which is the brother of my father, Kenneth Moss.
Right.
For those who are here, this is my first cousin, Wandale Jackson, who lives in Los Angeles.
Hi, Wandale.
How you doing?
Fine, you?
All right. So who are you?
I'm Diane. My grandmother was Mary Magdalene Moss. She was born in Forest City, Arkansas. And her father, Mike Moss, shows that he was born in 1850 in Tennessee. But it's close to where Jerry's people were, and my Uncle Luther matches. Several of my other family members match. So I think it probably is kind of a distant. So I'm trying to go back as far as I can to make that link.
Okay.
Have you taken the test?
Not yet. I got it sitting on my address. I told Jerry I got to send it in so I can get that link.
It's important that as many people as possible take it, and that you go back as far as you can accurately on your tree. Because once I get to a certain point, I'm able to get a couple of hints from a through line, and you still have to vet those because people make their trees wrong, but they give you different avenues to check to see if that is the actual extension that you need on your family.
Okay. This DNA.
But yeah, because the main thing, because it's taking that test is really not for you. It's for your family. It's for your descendants.
Right.
And on another note, I just want to add a political component. I've been doing research and studying and being studying with the California Reparations Task Force, following them, and I also spoke at one of their meetings in January, doing public comments, and they just left Sacramento this weekend, Friday and Saturday, and 2 days of they're hashing out how California is going to have a reparations bill, and it's important for us to have the information for our family and kids when the question comes up. It's just another tool,
right?
That when we have it, it saves them sometimes, because they're gonna have us jumping through all kind of hoops.
Oh, for sure. But the thing about it, that you've already traced the genealogy back to the slave owners, so that's one of the best things right there. So that right there is proof moving forward. And everybody
I'm wondering if there's a residency requirement, because people could hear about that and move here just so that they can get reparation. And they're only going to go so far with it. The more people they have to distribute it between, I'm sure it's going to be less money.
Yeah, they are discussing that, Diane. Just so you know, again, I'm putting my political hat on because I'm listening at it. It's still in discussion, but like right now, as the eagle flies, the residency requirement is when Governor Newsom signed the bill in September 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But San Francisco has they're studying for reparations. Oakland, Richmond, and San Francisco has a 10-year residency requirement. But the California one, they haven't decided exactly yet the requirement.
And you have to be current residents, so it can't be somebody that moved, lived here 50 years and then moved.
That's true. But like also, here's another thing too. As these meetings are going, they're fluid. They're fluid because some people had to leave because of the discrimination and the different kind of challenges. So they're working on ways of possibly incorporating them in, but that's not the first batch. And I went to
How much money they have to distribute? What do they have allocated for this?
what do you mean?
How much? Okay, if they say they're going to give everybody $10,000, well, do they have enough money to give everybody $10,000? What is the total budget? Do they think they have 5 billion for it, or 5 million, or?
They have economic professors and professionals who have came in and
They haven't computed it.
they've
Okay.
done some estimates.
Uh-huh.
And they're coming up, they're going to quantify and come up with figures. And they're not just they're not just dollar figures. There's indirect reparations that, housing, health, and
So it may be tax, like you don't pay any property taxes for 10 or 15 years.
and the main thing that our task force is focusing on is land, because that's, land equals wealth. And there's a complex prison system, and California is going to be shutting down a few prisons, and 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 we're asking for some kind of considerations for some of that land so we can redevelop that land, for dedicate some of that land towards reparations, because that is state property. Hey, by the way, I just want to briefly, I want to welcome hey, Larry. How you doing, Larry?
Doing okay.
I missed you a couple of weeks ago when I did get your message. I tried to get back with you, and
Yeah, we missed connections. No biggie. I'll probably be that way again sometime this year.
yeah, Larry, he came to, that's Larry Trice. He's a cousin. He came to San Diego a few weeks ago, and he hit me up and was wanting to meet. But like when I got his message, it was so fluid that we weren't able to connect. But
Yeah, I met another DNA cousin. While I was there.
Which one?
Know. Her name is Deborah Shirley. Yeah, Deborah Shirley. We can't connect how we're related, but we're related through DNA, and we've been trying to figure it out. Just like you and I.
Well, that's good. That's good that you. That's what this does. This journey, and like you had mentioned, that by reaching out to you and me reaching out to you, and now you're with your experiences, you're reaching out to other people. You have the wherewithal to travel, and you're building relationships. So that goes a long ways.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do at this particular juncture, my people, as far back as I can go, is well, on my maternal side, South Carolina. My people came to Mississippi out of South Carolina. Now, our connection is through Arkansas. Some of my maternal side moved to Crittenden County in Arkansas. And I believe the connection is through your great Robinson on your side.
Some of Roberts?
Robinson, I thought it was.
Oh, Robinson. Okay.
Anyway, I'm trying to find out in South Carolina where my people are from, that's where I am at this particular time, with this ancestry journey that you put me on.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. And Diane, this morning, Jared Moss contacted me,
Oh, yeah.
and he had gotten the email, and he had asked me about my YDNA, which my dear cousin Juanita encouraged me to get, and because he saw I was going to be sharing the results, and he says that he spends a lot of time on that, and he asked me a couple
Yeah,
of
he's on
questions.
familysearch.org. I got an email that he's an administrator on one of those research groups for Moss. And so, yeah, Uncle Luther has been on there since like 2015. So that would
Well,
be good. He should be able, huh?
he is reaching out, and uh, what I wanted to do. I am going to show mine again. I'm going to share that on the screen, but he's been doing some research, and he asked me a couple of questions. And I said, well, it'd be better if him and I actually talk, and I can share my screen, and he can give me some feedback from his side. Basically, we have a relative that matched us when our group set up a genealogy group on GEDmatch, and it did a study group, and
Mm-hmm.
he saw that we're interested in collaborating and learning more about our ancestors and the connections of different groups, and so he reached out to us, and it's isn't it a white connection, Diane?
Oh, yeah. Back in Virginia, I have the records where a one of the father had three sons, and he gave slaves to all three of them. Where we got these three people of color is that one of the sons set all his slaves free. He said he think everybody should be free.
And so that's so
Find that document on here.
and that's one of our that's where he comes into play with connecting with us.
Yeah, and see the point I'm trying to make here is you have to go with your DNA as far back as you can go. It gets to the point where it's no fun, and sometimes you don't have a breakthrough for maybe a few years. But more people are researching all the time, and so they're putting their bit of information in there because it could be one or two pieces that are missing that keep you from finding how you go exactly back to that point. So.
Sherry, I have a question with regard to back to the reparations again. In California, at least, do you have to show proof, documentary proof that you're a descendant of a slave?
Yes, this is my cousin Brenda Green, and her mother is Juanita. To my right. I don't know about you guys. That's Juanita, and this is my cousin, her daughter Brenda. Yes, you do. It took them almost a year to back and forth, and one of the criteria that they used was that the recipients of the reparations have to have documentation of proof that one of their ancestors in one of the states, not California, in any state, was enslaved before 1900. Before 1900, and,
Okay.
and that's and that's lineage based. So that's what they're basing this R's off of, lineage, and so before 1900, and that the controversy was when all the different people from these different islands and Caribbeans and all they jumped in line, and when it came down to it, to make a long story short, it was decided that to tell them, if you want to get your reparations, go through your country and go to England and Portugal and all the different people who were the ones that enslaved you first. So and that was a major decision. And the other one is like you have, Diane, what you're asking about. The decisions are about to be made on how much and residencies requirements. And they also, a major discussion yesterday was they want to pattern it. California wants to pattern their reparations after Civil War. There was a Freedmen's Bureau. You understand that? Freedmen's Bureau?
Freedmen's Bureau, yeah.
Freedmen's
Bureau.
Bureau, yeah. Freedmen's Bureau, yeah.
And so now there was a major conversation on that. And here's what that California, they're voting on. They want to call theirs California African Freedmen Affairs Agency. So they want to make it an actual government agency, and not a commission, but official agency. And so,
Jerry,
yes.
hello everybody. I'm Patricia. I'm from the Sacramento area in California. I was actually at that task force meeting on Friday.
Oh yeah,
and,
cool.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to see people from the community speak on what their wishes were, and I'm actually going to add the link in the message chat so that if you guys want to watch it, it's about 8 hours long, but I let you know the part of the video where you can actually go straight to when it begins. But for the most part, what you're saying, Jerry, is what they're thinking. They are going to be basing it on lineage, but they didn't actually give any time frame as to how much or when they plan on doing that. I think there's like 3 more meetings that they're planning on having. Going to Allensworth coming up here. I think the second, there's 3 more meetings, maybe the second meeting they're talking about going to Allensworth and having some discussions there. But if everybody can see in the chat, that's the YouTube link to the task force meeting that I went to on Friday. I live in Oak Grove, but I'm in Sacramento County. I'm sorry?
If they give us land, that's far more valuable than trying to give you some money to do something with it.
Yes, a lot of people were speaking and letting them know, definitely it's one thing we do want the money, but we also want the land.
That was quite the experience. I'm glad to hear that you participated because I did for 2 days last month. I mean, in January when they were in San Diego. Okay. And when you see, I'm gonna use a metaphor. Some people like sausages at the finished product, but when you see what it takes to get to that stage, it's pretty daunting. Process. And there was a few conversations between the board members, and it's very political because they're coming down to the end. And so now they definitely have to make decisions because it's impacting the legislatures. And we have 2 legislatures who are on that board. And a lot of things, it has to pass the legislature. So, it's not something you can just sit around and talk about now. It's getting real serious. Yes. One other thing I want to ask you, Patricia, what was your experience like?
Well, it was.
Could you talk up a little bit, or it might be my?
I don't know. Are you guys hearing me in this? Because I got 2 different pieces on here. Let me put this on. Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
hi, Vinny. Go ahead, Patricia. I think it's on my end.
It was really rewarding, what they had to say. Am I coming in? Am I coming in okay?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. It was really rewarding to be in the presence of the community and speaking to the platform about what our wishes are and what we want. I didn't, the only problem I guess it was a reason why they didn't answer any questions because of time restraints, but there were things that people were proposing and suggesting, and we wasn't getting any, answers back in terms of, well, yes, we could do that. We thought about that. It was just everybody just basically saying what they wanted everyone to hear, and there were no replies back from the panel. But I'm sure they were recording everything and taking notes.
They anticipate any pushback from Republicans or the red counties in the legislature?
Yeah, they didn't mention anything like that. They did mention Governor Newsom and who all he picked to be on that panel. I think 7 of the people he chose and the others were chosen by other people, but no, they didn't really mention that. Is everybody able to see the link I put in the chat?
Possible.
Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in the meeting, the Zoom chat window, I put it there, Teresa.
Okay, thanks for that information.
Sure.
I just want to be brief. It's been a while since we met. I just want to refresh who we are. Some of my, both of my mentors, DNA mentors, are online on this meeting. Diane and Frances Haywood. She was very instrumental in lead me and get me sharing information with me that that I relied on her, and she's my mentor and kind lady, and I visited her a couple of times. She lives in Carlson, California. My son lives in Long Beach, and I've been to her house a couple of times, and she has shared a lot of information with me about my family's history, and that's the Burnells and the Kendricks on that side. And so when you see matches that are Burnells and Kendricks, and another cousin, Exale Hendricks, he's another one who's in that branch, who manages a number of kids. Francis does. And we sat down and had some blockbuster moments when I had to disseminate information that determined paternity for one of my family members, and I was there with her, and had to make a decision on which member of my family was a father of one of my great nieces. You usually look for men that fathered that these discoveries come through. It was a man, but it wasn't with my siblings. It came through my sister. It's one of my sister's sons' kids. So that's life, and
right.
We're ambassadors, and it's important the things that we share and discover. These people, these young kids, they don't know. They're searching, and it's important for us to be diplomatic and be loving and kind and help them through this journey, whether our brothers and sisters want to hear it or not. I always say the truth can't be hidden. So let's have a brief introduction. Just give us.
Didn't you?
Pardon me?
Didn't you just introduce all of us?
No, I want them to speak in their own words.
Okay.
Just briefly tell us who you are and what your purpose is for researching. I'll start with Wandale.
Yes.
Juanita, and then Diane.
Okay, I'm Wandale Jackson from Los Angeles, California. Jerry Moss is my first cousin. Um, he's the one that pulled me into all of this. He's been talking about this research for quite a while, but through all that he has shared has really opened up my eyes to a side of the family that I definitely didn't know about. And then seeing all the people that come up here through the Zoom meeting is definitely eye-opening. So there's some rich history here, but it's just really unfortunate and a shame that through all of this, we're able to see each other now, but it would have been nice to be able to have seen each other when we were much younger as well. So it's not too late, but it would have been nice to have been able to share some of this history a while back.
And that could tell us where you live?
Los Angeles, California. I've been out here since December 1955. Came from Omaha, Nebraska.
Juanita and then Diane. Thanks, Wandale.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Juanita Patience Moss. I am mother of Brenda Green, and I started doing all of this with the Moss family because she is Brenda Moss Green. Her father is Jerry's cousin. My late husband is Jerry's cousin. I am the griot for the Patience family. I'm from Pennsylvania, and the great-granddaughter of a runaway slave who joined the Union Army. And so my research was basically about him. And then when 23andMe and Ancestry came out, I decided to take the test. And through the test, I discovered cousins in Edenton, North Carolina, who didn't know about me and I didn't know about them. And we solved a 154-year mystery about our family. That cousin's ancestor was also in the Civil War. So there were two brothers who ran away, joined the Union Army, and separated forever until we descendants found each other in 2018. I've written a book called Deeply Rooted in North Carolina. Now, that's not your family, but it's a very interesting book. So I'll advertise it. Deeply Rooted in North Carolina. I'm Juanita Patience Moss. Thank you.
Thank you, cuz. Diane, Larry, and then Brenda.
Okay, I am Diane. I am from Arkansas. I live in Fontana. I lived in LA and Inglewood areas for like 30 years before I moved to Fontana. And I always thought that my Nelson and Moss, I didn't even know I had a Moss family. I thought my Nelson family was the people that lived in Little Maumelle. It's a suburb of Little Rock. It's called Little Rock now. After I started doing genealogy, then I realized that my grandmother's name was Mary Magdalene Moss. And I've been researching that branch more than any other, and finding out a lot of interesting information. That's how I met Jerry and Snoop, and a lot of us were always working together, trying to find different things and giving each other hints. And so I'm involved on MyHeritage, 23andMe, Ancestry, FamilySearch.org, JetMatch, DNA Painter, and a couple of other miscellaneous ones. But if you really want to be serious about research, you got to have multiple avenues to go through in order to find what you're looking for.
Thank you, cuz. Larry, and then Brenda.
My name is Larry Trace, and I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I currently live in Las Vegas. I've been here since 2008. I retired here. My people, are from Mississippi. Now, my maternal side of my family moved to the Crittenden County area. of Arkansas. And I believe that's how I got hooked up with the Mosses. But basically, on my paternal side, my great-grandfather acquired 164 acres of land in Shannon, Mississippi, and there's probably 2 or 3 dozen Trices still living on that land, with one being a farmer. I got off into genealogy really, I guess through Jerry. Jerry kind of stuff, and I took off. And like I'm sorry, I don't remember the lady's name. I took her book down because I planned to look at her book.
That was
Deeply.
Donice's book.
That was Donice?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't Donice. Donice? Huh?
Donice Lee. She had a book.
Right, I've read her book.
Okay, was it Juanita's?
Beg your pardon?
Was it Juanita's book?
No, deeply rooted in North Carolina.
Yeah, deeply rooted in North Carolina.
Right.
Here she is right here. That's yours, isn't it, Juanita?
Yes.
There she is, Larry.
Right. Well, I'm saying that I wrote her book down because I plan to go find her book, you know.
Oh, okay. You want my website?
Well, yeah, you could do that as well.
I don't know how. I'm barely in the 21st century, so I don't know how to do that. Brenda, can you put my website in?
Well,
you don't know either.
Okay, let me look it up for
anyway.
I'll put it in if you want.
Teresa can.
But like you, my great grandfather was a runaway out of Mississippi, and joined the Union Army. And in fact, the company he was in left Fort Pillow less than a week before Fort Pillow was overrun. If you're familiar with the massacre there.
Yes.
And it's just interesting. Like, as you do your research, you find things and it leads you to other things and this and that. Yeah. I'm just having fun with it.
Yes.
Thanks, Larry. Thank you very much. Let's go with Brenda, then Patricia, and then Francis, please.
One quick question. Larry, what's your last name?
Trice.
Trice.
T as in Tom, R-I-C.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Brenda Moss Green. My maiden name was Moss, and I married someone named Green. So don't laugh. You all can appreciate that, but people have been teasing me ever since. I was born in Pennsylvania. Juanita Moss is my mom. Edward Moss was my father, who is Jerry's cousin, but my father was Edward Moss. My grandmother was Ella Moss, and her father was James Monroe Moss, who is Jerry's uncle, was Jerry's uncle. So through this genealogy, we have learned, unfortunately, James Monroe, who became a minister and went to divinity school at Howard University, and my grandmother met there, but they got divorced, so he did not grow up with my grandmother. So I did not know James Monroe Moss growing up. So through this genealogy research and through Jerry, we learned so much more about him as he traveled through the country and found out a lot about his brothers and his, parents. And he did reconnect with the family later in life when he was much older and came back to Pennsylvania. So my father and uncles and grandmother did get to see him at that stage of life. But we've learned a lot about his life and seen great pictures and learned about his family, all from Jerry. So this has been great for myself and my children and my brother. I live in Danbury, Connecticut, and that all the family was originally from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Montclair, New Jersey, and I now live in Connecticut I lived in Washington, D.C. for many years. So I'm also interested in the reparations. I don't know, I was gonna ask you, Jerry, is California the first state? I know counties and cities have done forms of reparation, but is California the first state that's actually implementing something formally statewide?
On this scale.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
So
we're the first one on this scale, but it's gaining momentum in other cities and other jurisdictions. Some people have already done it, but on this scale, California is first to have a state California task force. There's 9 members, and one of the members is here in San Diego, and Monica Step Montgomery, and so my connection is to help them with their DNA when it comes to the DNA. But let me say this again: we have the DNA, but do you know once Lewis Gates Jr. he has this program and he has this big book that he brings out.
Yes.
Well, when he goes in and does his DNA, we went as far as we can with DNA, and then he says, then we had to go to genetics. Genetics. That's a whole different ballgame. Can you imagine if we had access to the genetics? And so that's one thing. That's one thing with the task force. That is going to be one of the components of it, not just DNA. There will be a genetics component, and it will be under this Freedmen, California African Freedmen Affairs Agency. Genetics is part of it.
Yeah, I think California will be the sort of the model for other states and jurisdictions. So
yes, let me tell you, it's like, and I've seen it done. You know, I've been there, and like Tamara, my cousin Tamara down here, she says she's been at one of those task force meetings, and now here we are. We have another one here. Patricia, she was there just this weekend. It's quite a testimony, so that's why I asked them as I'm getting their intros to tell us a little bit about it. So who's next? Patricia, and then Francis, and then you, Teresa. Patricia?
Hello, everyone. I'm Patricia Harris Bowman. I live here in Elk Grove, California. That's Sacramento County. I guess I've been doing this genealogy thing for quite a while. I started off trying to find my paternal side, and have had quite a bit of luck doing that. Wasn't really diving into my mom's side, but I've discovered quite a bit with that. That's how I ended up running into Jerry. We are from, well, my mom is Marva Joanne Harris. She was originally a Gray, and we moved to California from St. Louis, Missouri. I was born but not raised in Omaha, Nebraska. Been in California all of my adult life, and a lot of my paternal roots are in Indianapolis, Indiana is what I've recently discovered. My grandmother is from Forest City, Arkansas, was there practically all of her life, and I have a third great grandmother, Melvina Shields, who was a slave, born, I believe, 1865. So all of this genealogy stuff is very fascinating to me. And when Jerry sent a link that we would be meeting, he sent a few links before, and I wasn't able to attend. So I'm really happy to be able to join you all, and looking forward to making connections as to how we are related. Because Jerry, I'm not quite sure how we are connected via cousins on my mom's side. That much I do know, right?
You were able to determine that?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yes.
A little while back.
But you know, you just mentioned that you were born in Omaha, Nebraska. So was I.
Wow. See, I was there when we left. I was born there, but I left. I was a lap baby when we moved to. I want to say we went to Arkansas, Forest City, Arkansas, from there.
Yeah.
St. Louis, Missouri. We've been in a lot of places, but home is California.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
Francis,
you.
cousin Francis Haywood, Vinny, and then Jerry Jr. Brief
Okay,
introductions.
first of all, stop, Jerry, stop doing that about me. I just do what my mom and parents and aunts and uncles told me to do, is to share. How I got involved in genealogy was, I have the unique privilege of going to a family reunion where both sides of my family are attending. It started around my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. And since everybody was from Little River County, Arkansas, you couldn't invite one side of the family and not invite the other side of the family. So everybody showed up. My brother said, okay, since everybody's in town, why don't we have a reunion? And we couldn't figure out whether to call it the Hughes Harris, the Burnell reunion or the Owens reunion. So my niece said, just call it the kin folks. So when I go to a reunion, I see both sides of my family. And at one of the reunions, one of my maternal cousins, he wrote down what he thought was the family history. And it was just really kind of convoluted. I mean, even there are little things that we saw. No, we praised him for doing it because that's the first time that anybody really had presented, something written. And so my sister, we call her the one you can be angry at us, but you can't be angry at my sister Virginia. No, we all get upset when we do that. That's just her personality. And she was so upset. She said, because it's okay, but there's stuff in here that's wrong. And so that was my impetus to start working on my family history. So at our reunion in 2003 in California, I presented I did the research and kind of presented our family. And I'll just take the Burnell. I think I accumulated like 8 pages of Burnell names. Now I have 200 pages of just Burnells, going back to Isham, who was born in 1820, to even the Newburghs. And so that's just one branch of the family. So that's how I got started. And then I think I met your cousin.
When was that reunion at in California?
It was in Ontario.
Okay.
It was held in Ontario.
Wow. That's close.
Well, yeah, it was in Ontario. So that's how I got started. And then after my mom died, my sister said, you're doing family stuff. Just go through all her papers and see what you find. And lo and behold, my mother and her sisters had written down the family history from my maternal family. And you were talking about trying to find out who your parents were. One thing that has really helped me is my aunts and my mom. They wrote down all the people, they call them the outside children, the out of wedlock children. They wrote them down and they listed them. Because I think my mom's sisters always said, I just include all of them, said they're your family regardless of how they got here. Mm-hmm. Because that's what I had known. My mom had said my grandfather, her father was born out of wedlock. So all of that was written on the page. As a matter of fact, would be my great-grandfather, Ed Burnell. I think he was married like 4 times, and then I found 2 or 3 children that were his outside of the marriage. But that's part of my aunts, my mom's family say, you accept people regardless of who they are. So it's been really interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So I'm Jerry's 3rd cousin. I had to look it up because trying to figure out all those layers. I'm his 3rd cousin. We share the same great-grandfather, Isham Burnell. So that's my family. So I'm on every testing site under Francis Haywood, and my cousin Ezel Kendricks. He's on most of them. As a matter of fact, he just downloaded a bunch of DNA tests onto MyHeritage and I think Family Tree DNA. So if you see either names, that's my maternal side of the family. And so I'm always, what I have is out there in the world. So, and you mentioned reparations. There is a trial. I don't know. I think one of the Zoom meetings I turned in, I talked about the Georgetown thing. Well, they filed a suit. The descendants have filed suit against Georgetown, and they're supposed to be going to court next week because Georgetown, whatever, the corporation, the Jesuits want to throw it out of court. So, somehow I discovered I'm a descendant of Georgetown University, those that were enslaved. And so some of my family and my nephew, as a matter of fact, my nephew signed up for the lawsuit and he's one of the plaintiffs. He's listed as one of the plaintiffs on the lawsuit. So I'll keep you informed on how that's going.
That's interesting. Thank you.
Quit talking. I just do what I was told to do. Okay, I don't need any compliment.
that you steered me in the right. If you're going to get direction, you might as well get direction from someone who uh, has a good heart and has some pretty solid information to go from. And you were there.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks to my mother and her sisters.
Okay,
that's where
Jerry and then Teresa. A brief introduction, son, and Teresa, and then Eddie.
I'm Jerry Jr. It's hard to follow, Mrs. Haywood. I mean, that was beautiful, and I really appreciate everything that you said. It goes to the heart. This is my daughter Ashley Moss, 8 years old. My pop's granddaughter. Say hi or say something.
Hi.
Hi, Ashley.
She always got something to say. Don't be quiet now.
Where do you live?
Long Beach. You ain't got to give up the address. Just what city do we live in? Long Beach, California. And oh, let me show you something. Since we're here, see, she gets all these awards.
Okay, congratulations.
You see that? Citizenship, all at one time.
Congratulations.
Reading achievement.
Beautiful. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And
beautiful. Good.
She a beautiful baby. She hell on wheels at home, but she gets to the school and she does what she needs to do. So I don't bother too much. But we here. I support my father. He's always supported me. He's been there for me through all of my endeavors. It didn't matter what I've done, whether I was good at it or not. I wasn't a very good athlete in high school, but he came to all my games. I wasn't the star. I was a star in the classroom. I wasn't a star on the field, but he came to everything. He was always there. And when the star athletes' parents, they weren't there. But my daddy was there. And he's always been there for me. And so, we give him the support. I love what he's doing here. He's bringing people together. And he's showing us youngsters, we need to be doing this too, because there are a lot of children out there who they don't know who their fathers are. Yeah. In terms of my generation. And we need to start linking these people up, the kids up. They want to know, where's my dad? Or if I can't find my dad, who are some of my brothers and sisters? Who am I related to? What's going on? And my father's, he's given me the platform to do that, do that with. And so it's a blessing to see all you here wanting to cross the T's and dot the I's, and you know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. You got anything? What you want? What you got? You don't got nothing? You all right? Okay, well, if she ain't got nothing, then I ain't got nothing. I'm good.
Thanks, I want to commend you for generation to generation to generation, because when I was young, we didn't have keys to our house, but we had our family unit. It was important. We had our father there. And so the problems that we're having now is because a lot of people think they don't need to get married to have children or to have that connection. And then we get in with the baby daddy and the baby mama stuff, and we don't get a chance to work that, generation to generation relationship, encouraging the younger ones to do better in life rather than just be victims.
Jerry, can I just say one thing on that about the kids? A couple of Thanksgivings ago, I had 2 great grandnephews who were out, and I always say I've got I've got 5 minutes to teach them something about the family. And so I said 5, I hope I got 2 minutes if they can listen. And I was talking on my paternal side about my 4th great grandfather, and I kept calling him Jack Brown, Jack Brown. And suddenly the 8-year-old said, you know, Auntie, his name is not Jack Brown, his name is Jack Turner. I said, oh, he's Jack Turner. But the other thing, Jerry, that I forgot to share, and the young lady, just compliments on those grades. I get the little great grandnephew, his dad sends me his grade cards. So I get to see what he does, and you know, like I always tell young people, there's not a dumb person in the family. We're all brilliant, and you're just one of the biggest ones. Finally, one thing I forgot to share, because I kept hearing Omaha. How many of you are aware of Charles Jackson French, who was just recognized? He was in World War II. He rescued.
Oh yeah, President did that.
No, not the one the other day. This was, he didn't get this was in the paper. He's from Omaha. He was from Omaha. And I remember one of the names of one of his nephews was named Roscoe Harris. They named a post office after him. This was back in Omaha. It's named Charles Jackson French. And in San Diego, just a week or so ago, they named the swimming facility at the naval base after Charles Jackson French. His family is from Arkansas, from Little River County, Arkansas. So you know of any Frenches, or are you related to any Frenches? That's the family. You can Google him and see. He rescued 15 soldiers in shark-infested waters, and they were white soldiers, so you understand all the dynamics. And again, that's some of the history that got lost somewhere, or people didn't get the recognition, but now they're going back. So this Charles Jackson French. And it just turned out, so when I saw the surname French, I said, Little River County, Arkansas, he's got to be related to my cousin's wife. Of course he was. And so that just opened up a whole nother thing for the young generation of my cousin's wife's relatives and cousins. So just wanted to share. So his name is Charles Jackson French. And he's from Arkansas, but he grew up in Omaha.
Wow. Thanks. Fast story.
Huh?
Thank you so much. Okay, let's continue. We're having brief introductions. We have Vinny and Jacqueline, and then Eddie. Jacqueline, Vinny first, a brief introduction of what it means to do research and be a part of the group. Vinny?
Good evening, all. My name is Teresa Vinny. Live in New Jersey. Have done so all my life, and have been researching since 2013. I researched started with my mother's side, and am related through Brenda and I believe Juanita on my paternal side, and possibly Jerry recently. I just don't know how.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it was one of my uncles.
Oh,
That's why we're on here. We need.
It's one of my uncles. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. But thank you, Vinny, and you do a great job. You know, my East Coast cousin, she helps facilitate our meetings, and we had a virtual reunion, and that, you know, was put together in a few months, and it's very well done and put together. And the way things are, the pandemic, nothing kept them apart. They wanted to still come together, and they came together virtually. And I was able to give a presentation on the Moss migration, James Monroe Moss, because they hadn't had any information on the Moss connection, and I was so honored to be able to tell them about their great grandfather and grandfather. So there's Vinny, Eddie, and Tony and Michelle, and then Tamara. Look at Eddie. Where you at? Where you at, champ? Eddie's in Kansas City. Can you give us a brief intro, Eddie?
I think he's driving, Jerry.
All right. Tony and Michelle. No, he hears
DNA
us.
painter.
Don't let him out. He's a champion. Don't give him no break. Come on, Eddie.
I'm driving. I'm driving home, so I just came from an event. So that's what I'm trying to do now. Get to the house. But I'm in Kansas City.
Make sure
majority
you
of the people already know me.
Make sure you make it straight home. Look at him. He's getting crucified.
Yeah, I'll get home in a little bit.
Eddie, are the cops behind you?
Nope, not yet.
Well, thanks, Chief.
Once I get in the house.
Thanks. Go and be safe. Jacqueline, and then Tony and Michelle, and then Tamara.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Hello.
Hi, how are you all? I'm Jacqueline. I live in Texas, originally from California, Los Angeles, Southern Cal, that is. Been living in this central Texas area for the past 22 years. Parent of two. I have a daughter, Ashley, 34. Son, Austin, will be 24 this month on the 19th. Been looking and doing research since 2008. And just so happened, I came across Mr. Jerry and he contacted me. And I've been a part of Mr. Jerry Moss's family link. Apparently we're cousins. Our birthdays are the same day, just different years, December 22nd. Thankful for that, to be able to share a birthday with someone. Not exactly sure how my linkage comes about being related to everyone, as everything is complicated in my situation, but I'm not exactly sure if it's on my maternal or the fraternal side. So, but I'm glad to be a part of the family, and I'm thankful.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And I want to say about her, she's enthusiastic. She reaches out, and for just meeting through this DNA, we're building a relationship. And I like her enthusiasm.
Right.
We have camaraderie, and it just makes me happy, and I know I add some joy to her life also. So thanks, cuz. Tony and Michelle.
You're welcome.
Hello. Hello. We are from Texas. Currently, we're in Illinois, though. I'm related to Jerry from my father's side. I've narrowed it down, but I still don't know how. We've done a lot of research on my family, and Anthony does a lot of research, and he assists me and I help him. So we're on here together just to gather more information.
Yes.
And, ask what kind of things you've done so far to
as far as genealogy?
It's trying to get the connection between your relationships, because I'm very, that's important to me. I'm trying to get all my branches connected. So I was just wondering, what type of things did you do?
And your maiden
Well,
name.
Initially what I did was whenever someone would come on, I would get the name and check the trees. But what I found is most people have not gone back far enough. And the problem is going back far enough to find the relationship and finding that one person who went far enough to connect everybody. I have tested my father since then, and it still hasn't helped, but because my mother and father have been tested, when I do match a Moss, it lets me know what side. And even though my mom has matches for Moss and my father, I'm pretty sure it's on my father's side.
Have you uploaded your matches to GEDmatch?
Yes.
And so have you compared him with you compare either one or two? You understand what I'm saying? The tools that they have, one, you have what? Direct comparison, 1-to-1. So it tells you how many segments you share and what part of the segments you share. But the other is to see if you are related to how many people you're related to, the same people, maybe not necessarily the same way, but there's some that he may be related to you.
Oh, you mean where it gives a picture with the breakdown of the different pockets of people, like you'll have a square and some squares are bigger because they're related? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's one of the analyses I was just talking about. It's really a chart that comes out and shows you both of you related to these people. Jacqueline's related to these people, and Jerry's related to these people. That page.
Yes.
You done that one?
Yes, but it hasn't helped.
Okay. I'm gonna take your information down, and I want your email address because I want to compare with you, see what you have.
Okay.
Or what is your ID there?
I have to look it up and I'll put it in the chat.
I'll put mine in the chat for you too.
Okay.
And Michelle, I just wanted to ask her, is Hill your maiden name?
Oh, my maiden name is Susberry, and my father's last name is Rhodes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Can you spell your last name, your maiden last name for me?
Susberry.
Okay. Thank you.
And I also wanted to say to Michelle and Anthony, they've been loyal and have helped us, through this journey, through COVID and everything else. They've been there for us, and I really appreciate it. I truly do. Your daughter matches, we're matched with your daughter, and also Michelle, have you gotten your certification as a genealogist yet?
I'm not certified, but I just recently completed a 14-month study group. So I'm ready to get started on sending out the information to try to get everything gathered to complete the certification. So I'm close.
And see, that's an example that we have different people who have different tools, different resources, and we rely on each other. We share them. So she's close to a certified genealogist. There's some questions that she knows, the science, and that the average layman we're pretty we're pretty experienced, but she can get some of the specifics. And obviously they're a team, her and Anthony. It's just great to see them both. And I just pray for you, pray for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tamara, if you could. And I just want to say this about Tamara. She's been listening. She's my LA cuz, and she's on my second great grandmother's side, the Roberts. That's Reuben and City. She's on the City side, City Roberts Moss. And Tamara just told me that she attended one of those California reparations meetings. Could you just introduce yourself? Am I correct on that, cuz?
Yes, that was a while back. I did the meeting online, and it was like toward the beginning of maybe like their second or third meeting, but it was very interesting. And I went back on their website a few times to see like where they were and what they're doing on it. But I'm gonna try and do the next meeting since you guys said they're pretty much getting ready to wrap up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And I'm from Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles. I'm a dentist. I haven't been participating that much because I've been really stressed out. I've been moving. So I moved my dental office. And so that was a big undertaking. And so now
Yes.
I was in Inglewood. Now I'm in LA by the airport on Sepulveda. And I used to be over there some years ago. I was there for like 9 years. And I moved to the building right next door to where I used to be. So it's like a full circle. But
Wow.
I've been busy doing that. But this weekend I did the Roots Tech, and I know that somebody on here. Is it Vinny? Said that she
was-
did it too. Yeah. And so there were some really good ones on there for African American research.
There's
that
another one coming up on the 11th, also, Tamara.
Oh wow, there was some really good information on there. And I there was this one woman, and she did one on African American genealogy, Let the Truth Be Told. Did anybody see that? Oh, that was so good. She was really good. Her name was Janice Gilliard. And
You know, if
that
they're
one,
going to be available online, I forgot all about that.
yes, they are.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they are. They're available for replay, but that one was good. There was a few of them that were really, really good. And they also have syllabi that you could download with different links to more information. And I found some information on some of the ancestors just looking those up. And real interesting, real interesting. So
yes,
that's
they
what
just
I
sent me the syllabus to the Learn DNA Genealogy.
It was, what is it?
They just sent me the syllabus of the one that's coming up in March. It's called it's the Learn DNA Genealogy. I got a chance to meet Yvette Holborn on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I signed up for so many classes, so I still have some to look at. But I looked at all of the one that has to do with African American history first.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. We're first. So that's about all I've been up to. This whole weekend I spent doing that. So it got me back into it, really.
Well, I want to share this story with you about Tamara. Through my research, I barely knew, I had just very little information about my grandfather on my father's side, David Moss. And through research, Frances, she has a program, the original program of Family Tree Maker. I currently have it, the Family Tree Maker. But we also use GEDmatch. And so I uploaded my DNA to GEDmatch. And my GEDmatch, one of the persons that I matched was Tamara's. Is that your aunt? Or Eileen?
My grandmother.
It's her grandmother.
It was my grandmother.
Her grandmother, I matched in GEDmatch. Now listen at this. That her grandmother, Eileen, her DNA showed up on this GEDmatch. I reached out to Tamara because she managing her account. And I got a chance to, Tamara arranged, a year or so ago for me to actually talk to Eileen. And what her connection is, my great grandfather, Reuben Moss, his wife is City Roberts Moss. And so this cousin of mine, Eileen, that is her grandmother, I matched her. And so now I was able to get that kind of connection. We were able to connect like that. And those two, Reuben Moss and City Moss, they migrated, their sons, my great uncles, they migrated to Los Angeles between 1910 and 1918. And they through the Great Migration. And do you know that my uncles, they were porters, and they helped bring our families up to middle class. They were porters, Samuel, Luther, Moss, and these are the brothers of James Monroe Moss. But this Eileen, she matched the paternal side. So I learned about the paternal side, and maternal and the paternal. And the good Lord, in 1918, when he came and got them, they passed less than 2 weeks apart. 1918, and right there in Los Angeles, and they're buried in Evergreen Cemetery in East LA. And I went up and visited their grave site. And so that just shows you the power of this DNA and how it brings our families together. And here I am from Omaha, Nebraska. I had opportunity to migrate out here in California, and I'm out in California, and my second great grandmother and grandfather were here, and my uncles, and just, it's just this DNA is like, it's one of the wonders of the world. And so I am so happy and thankful that I'm meeting all my family members. And through Tamara, I got a chance to meet that side. So that it's so gratifying.
But what's really amazing is that I knew nothing about City and before I met Jerry. And then when we looked her up, or when I looked her up, I saw she had a daughter named Alice before she married Reuben Moss. And my grandmother's name was Alice. And so she apparently was probably already gone or something before my grandmother was even born, because she knew nothing about it. And her grandmother actually passed away when her grandmother Alice passed away when she was about 10 years old. And so she really knew nothing about the Robert side of the family. So I told her that City was most likely her grandmother, either a grandmother or an aunt, because it was something really, really close for, because she matched Jerry as well as 2 of her children, because I had all 4 of her children test as well. So 2 of her children that were on GEDmatch that I put on there, and she matched Jerry as well. So it was just amazing. It was just amazing. So that helped build my tree. Thank you, Jerry.
Well, that's a blessing. Thank you. I just want to share that story, how, and like Wandale is saying, he doesn't live that far from Evergreen Cemetery. Our second great grandparents are, like not too far from you.
It's close. Evergreen. It's close. Yes.
Okay. I tell you what we're going to do now. I know that you've been sitting here for a while. I want to ask you, do you want to take a 10-minute break, or do you want to continue? Because we can take a break just to get up and clear the air, and then I'll go into my presentation. And those who want to stay, you can stay and talk. But like, if you want to, get up and stretch your legs and have a break, it's on you. But we'll resume in 10 minutes.
That'll work. Oh, man. Oh, boy.
Teresa, I see that you put a chart in there and that we match similar people.
Yes, those are the shared matches we have on GEDmatch.
Okay. I don't know any of those people. Do you?
No.
Oh.
On there for everybody to see?
Let me see.
You said what? I'm sorry?
Is it on there for everyone to see, or is it just?
Oh, I can put it for everyone.
Oh,
okay.
I'm looking and it's not fair.
But maybe I might know somebody.
I haven't done that in GEDmatch.
No.
I don't fully understand how
GEDmatch
even works. I'm in it yet. I have uploaded to JetMatch, but I don't really know what
They have
I'm doing.
analysis tools that you can use, and really would be good for somebody to demonstrate some of them. Okay, so T, who is T?
Me.
Okay, well, I'm looking at the little chart right now. Which me is me? Let me write this
Teresa.
down. Okay, Teresa me, okay. That is Perlina, my South Carolina people.
Oh, okay. So that's probably on my mother's side then.
And you know what? You're sometimes related to people on both sides of the family. So
Yes, I have that too.
yeah, because when they grew up in a certain location, they tend to marry some of the same related people. So Kareem and Perlina definitely are two of mine. Let me copy this thing.
Did you say Sanders is from South Carolina?
Perlina, I know Kareem is. I don't know about Perlina. I'll go back out and look. See what I have with Perlina. I might have to get off. Let's see. Match.com.
And I forgot your name. Last name Trice?
Trice? Now that one doesn't.
Trice. The gentleman, the person, the man who said his last name is Trice, her family is Trice. I don't remember what he said his name was.
Yeah, that was
my name is Larry Trice.
Do you have any relatives in Florida, Larry?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, not to my knowledge.
Trice is out of Florida. That's why I was asking.
Is anyone sharing the screen?
Black or white?
They're black.
Okay. I met some white Trices out of Florida. It's a slave name.
It's showing that I match a Betty, Danisha, and Regina Trotter.
That's my husband. My last name is Nelson.
Oh, okay.
And I hope it'll be that.
Never mind.
Okay. Let's see.
Diane.
Yes.
Do you live in Fontana?
Yes, I do.
Do you get private lessons? I've been doing this for a while, but I've been doing this for a while, but I'm still, it's like every day is new. And I just really need to sit down with somebody to go over all of this, the kind of genetic part of the DNA.
Sure, I help anybody I can, particularly if they're going to be a possible match for me, because hey, if I'm helping you, I'm helping me.
Okay. So Diane, your family's from where? Arkansas or?
I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
And I didn't realize until I started genealogy to know that I had family outside of Pulaski County, all over Arkansas, particularly Hempstead and Nevada County, and over in Tennessee,
Shelby,
Arkansas, and so yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. And then when you mentioned that, when I saw that sheet with the Perlina Sanders on it, I was wondering if that's South Carolina, because it's just one of those things that somebody shared with me. You learned, like you said, you learn from other people, and somebody shared with me that there was a whole group of the enslavers who brought ancestors from South Carolina about 1840, ended up in Howard County, Howard and Hempstead County.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Howard is another one of those counties.
And Trotter, I was just looking at my list and I said, Trotter's familiar. There's a relationship with one of my cousins had a son or somebody named Trotter. They're from around Nashville, over in, what's that, Howard County, or is that Hempstead County? I don't know. So I have to look it up and kind of make the match. So it's not a relationship to me. It's a relationship to one of my cousin's sons or somebody. He married or had a child named Trotter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
8, 9, 6. Anyway, now I'm going to take these centimorgans down to 7.
Both.
Diane, are you sharing your screen?
No, I'm not sharing my screen. Oh boy, when I go down to 7 centimorgans from 10, let's see, Adele.
Would be nice if we could see what you see him.
Well, if somebody would let me share, you want me to share, I can do it. Let me close up
We're
all
in the
this up.
chat. We're filling all the stuff in the chat.
Okay, I don't think it'll fit in the chat, but I'll try.
But I mean, I think the sharing would be better, but right now we can share. That'd be better. Anyone related to any of my GED match? I don't really know how to figure it out. I just know what my numbers are.
What's your number?
I am, let me go back. I am A655776. I put it in the chat also.
Okay.
I'm not looking at the screen for us. I'm looking at some other stuff here. So now, Tia, are you the one that wanted to work with me? Who was that wanted to work with me? Somebody else? Francis?
Yeah. I just really need to sit down with somebody like just a private tutoring lesson, just to go over what you're talking about, moving down the centimorgans. I think I have a little basic knowledge, but as my cousin Ezel says, I know more than I think I know, but I just still haven't quite got it up to speed.
Yeah, and everybody probably know different things. I'm going to put my email address in here. So email me, and then I'll set up a Zoom.
Okay.
So that's really what I want to do. I want to start working with people trying to put some of these ends together. You see it there, Diane, emailed up.
Okay, I'll find it. Okay.
I can't do it the next 2 nights because I'm Bible studying. So maybe Wednesday evening we can do it.
Okay, yeah, because I've got yeah, I'll get in touch with you because I really would like to sit down. Okay, let me get your okay. Let's see, I didn't get your email.
You see it now? If not, I'll go put it in again with my, let's see. And,
Teresa, I see what you post, what you put in the chat.
Do you know any of them? Because I don't.
That makes 2 of us.
See, Kareem, I'm related to him on my London side, but that side, one of them married a Moss. A William side married a Moss. It was a very interesting thing that happened. So that joined the 2 opposite sides of my family. Let me go in here and see if I can see what I have on Kareem. But I've talked to him. Come on. Okay. Kareem.
Oh. These are all that you manage, Patricia?
Yes. Yeah, let's see, everybody's on my mom's side with the exception of Wilbert and Diego. They're on my father's side, who I never met. So I know the DNA is pointing that he's deceased, no longer living, but I was trying to locate paternal side of the family.
That's a card.
see, Kareem is under Charity Robinson. Charity Robinson, Mary Grant Smith. Yeah, I don't have enough to help us right here with what we're doing now. And the other one was Perlina. Let me see what notes I have on her.
So which NFL 189 where it says Deborah Harris? Well,
That's my daughter.
disabled pencil edit kit. Who is that one?
Okay, let me see.
The
Which
NF
one?
189, it says it's not valid.
Yeah, yes.
Maybe a digit off or something.
Okay, so hers is NF.
Yeah, it says it's not valid.
Oh, she is 23andMe. Do you think that has something to do with it?
No, shouldn't.
I'm gonna go with anybody wants to contact me and we can work one-on-one. Because if it's on the mosses, because that's what mine are.
Mhm.
You know. See y'all.
She hung up? Wow. Interesting.
What? Oh
Eddie-
my God, no.
Eddie Henderson. Can I just a
Yeah.
question? Yeah, you said you were in Kansas City, Kansas or Missouri?
Both.
Where do you live? I'm from Kansas City, Kansas. I grew up in Kansas City, Kansas. That's why I was asking.
Oh, I'm on the Missouri side.
Oh, okay. Okay. Family's still over on the Kansas side.
Oh, I go over there all the time. That's why I say both.
Oh,
I live close to the state line.
do you know any Owens or Hughes?
I know some Owens,
Chester?
not by first name.
Okay.
Chester, wait a minute. Chester Owens?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Where did he work?
He had an insurance company. He was on the city council of Kansas City, Kansas a number of years ago. It's my brother. It's my brother. It's my brother.
Oh, okay.
Not nobody that's available today. The other one that I know, if they're on their way to work now, they work on.
I retired from General Motors. That's why I was over there a lot.
Did you know James Owens?
Might have.
No, he didn't work for General Motors. Okay. No, just curious. Anybody from Kansas City, I always ask which one.
Mm-hmm. I'm the Missourian. Show me.
Oh, Shawnee.
Eddie,
Sir?
how you doing, brother?
All right.
I don't know which Super Bowl you gonna take.
What Super Bowl?
I don't think we got a problem with that, do you?
What Super Bowl I'm gonna take?
Where you at, or when you come around this?
What Super Bowl I'm gonna take?
All this and that.
There's only one.
That's
right.
all
That's
I'm
right.
Yes, Haywood, you too. I was gonna bring you into it too. It's all lovely. I just want to make sure now. I don't know.
And you know that only one that red and gold. You know.
All right. I'm just making sure. Miss Haywood, what you think?
One day you guys will get back there.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. Yeah, I was looking at that cap off the side. You got a cousin who would love that. That's my brother. He's a Kappa.
That's a good man.
Oh,
yeah. But my nephew's an Alpha, so there's a little conflict in the family.
No, baby. This is Alpha.
Thank you.
And you know
don't mess it up. This is Alpha.
But you know what? You know what, Eddie? Here's my thing.
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Anytime black men trying to better themselves, we all together, you know.
Well, see, I'm impartial. My brother Chester is a Kappa. My nephew Brandon is the Alpha. So Other than that, love them both.
It doesn't matter to me.
One's better than the other.
I'll let you all figure out that.
You look in the mirror, you figure all that out. I ain't gonna deal with all that, but what we, you know, we all trying to do better, and that's the best thing about it. You know, you get in there and then.
Hey, let me change this subject for a minute. I'm trying to reach the lady with the deeply rooted in North Carolina. I tried to order the book online. Is she still on?
No, I think she's gone.
Juanita, where'd she go?
I'm not. I'm right here.
Okay. Amazon. I was ordering it online. They want to charge me $11.
No. You go to my website.
Well, give me an address.
I put it in the chat. It's
you see the chat.
It's in the chat. Okay, can you all right?
www.journeyfromthepast.com.
www.journeyfromthepast.com.
Right, journeyfromthepast.com. Then you can buy the book through PayPal, and I will autograph it.
Oh. All right, journeyfromthepast.com. That's your wait a minute, that's not an email address.
It's www.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Journeyfromthepast.com.
Okay, that's
my
website.
That's your website.
That's the website.
All right, cool.
So
all right, I can make it from there.
You can order it through PayPal if you want to. PayPal.
Well, as long as they'll accept a credit card. I don't do all this Zelle and all that other crap. I'm let's put it to you this way. I'm technologically handicapped. Okay.
Challenge.
I'm challenged. Do you write checks?
Now that I don't, maybe 2 a month. That's about as far as I go with checks. And a book of stamps lasts me a year.
Well, you could sacrifice one check and send to me.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem with sending a check or whatever, you know, or a credit card.
Hey, see, I tell you what, I'll handle the cost. I'll take care of the transaction with cousin Juanita, and let's make sure he gets it sent to him. I'll handle the cost. Okay, Juanita?
What do you want me to do?
Jerry's gonna pay for it. He wants you to ship it.
I gotta pay for it some kind of way.
I'll take care of the cost.
All right, I'll send you an email. We'll talk about it through email.
All right, we got to continue now.
I'll email it. Yes. Okay.
The show must go on.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Nice little break. Hope you got a chance to stretch out.
Little break? You're not supposed to take a break.
You don't want to take a break.
Why do you take a break?
Even the pros call time out.
Yes.
I think we're gonna do something and you taking a break.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna show my YDNA results, and any questions you have on it that you can add to it, you're welcome to do that. I'm gonna share my screen, and I'll also show a couple more items. Present a couple more items to you. And Brenda, I just want to let you know, cousin, I have the PDF file of the Moss Generations that I'll be sending it to you, so you can have it in a PDF file, so you can have a printed copy of our genealogy in your hand.
Okay,
and anybody else,
what
we'll end up doing is we'll be adding on to it. You know, I have a tree, and if you have a branch that's part of that tree, you know, at some point I can add your information on the tree. But as it is now, I had to consolidate, stop all this here growing, these branches. I had to do some pruning. You know, I'm a farmer, remember? So I prune. And another thing that I learned from Diane and Francis is you can't leave all your valuable information out there, because people will scandalize it and mess it up. And they take your information and change it around, have different names for different.
Jerry, you're going in and
You're
out.
breaking up. You're breaking up, Jerry.
They'll have different names for different people. And so you don't want that. So that being said, let me show you this presentation on my my family tree DNA. Let's see. All right, here is the test. This is when you get the results. It looks like this when you come back with the results. Can you see this? See my screen? Everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. When you get your results from Family Tree DNA, here's what they are. And so, let me see over here. All right. And so here's the paternal line ancestry. And I paid for it. I got the results May 15th. And here's my YDNA matches. I'm gonna click on that. Oh, see what they come up. Okay, the way it's set up I didn't have any. They had 5 different levels. I didn't have any matches at 111 markers, 67, 37. I have 2 at 25 markers and 12 at 9. So let's take a look at these 2. Can you see these 2? Everybody,
Yes.
can y'all see this?
Yes.
Let me make sure you can see it. Oops, not that one.
You too, sir.
Here they are right here. So, can you see them now? Calvin Thomas and a Henry Arnold?
Yes.
Right. So here's what it does. It gives you, this is their names, and I'll pull this out of the way. There's no earliest ancestors known on those. So, but when I go to 12 markers, more people show up. This is their names. Frost, Bobby Meadows. And then over on the side here, I do get an earliest paternal known ancestor. It's Emmanuel Frost.
You're breaking up just a little bit there.
And here's one, Jefferson Swain, 1835. So, and here's a Philip Hornberger, 1823. And this is the person who over on the left, Christopher Hornberger. So there they are. Those are people who I match with these markers.
Hey, Jerry, you fading out.
I think you got kicked out. Yes, Teresa, I am on Ancestry. Let's share.
Okay, let me go back to here's where this is. It is going. I want to go to the map. That's what I want to show you. There's a map. My matches. Hyperloop origins. Let's see if this is showing. So here they are. Here's some from the 12 marker, but there is a map to YDNA.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of the YDNA?
The male. That's the male. That's the male DNA.
And
it's just testing the male lineage, your male lineage. It's not like autosomal, which tests both. This one just strictly tests the male lineage.
Okay.
And are you able to upload your ancestry DNA to the family tree DNA to get that information? Or is it a different test for them?
I'm not going to answer because I did this years ago with my brother, but I had to pay from additional Y to get different data. So don't ask me, but that's just the Y chromosome for the males.
Right.
And then there's the other one for so it's not, I'm not going to answer because I'll give the wrong answer.
Okay.
The Y chromosome passes unchanged through generations. And so when he checks his Y chromosome, it's the same as his father's was the same all the way back to wherever we came from. And that's why I asked him to do this. So
on the male side.
In Africa, his paternal.
Everybody on all the paternal?
Yeah, well,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So can you see this now?
Yes.
Yes, we can see Adam.
So this is a haplogroup E. This is for me. And from the test, this is the map that the results, how they came, the results of my YDNA test, starting from Adam, and it started to these different groups. So again,
what country is Adam? We can't see. What country is that below Ethiopia?
It's probably Kenya, Tanzania.
Is that Kenya?
Yeah, that would probably be Kenya.
Okay.
Then Ethiopia, it goes over to Chad, over to Maui, over that way, down there and across.
Now, Jerry, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How is this YDNA similar to the African ancestry DNA?
But this one here is similar. It's similar. You have to pay for it. It gives you some information that we didn't have other than the United States, our DNA. This takes us to the motherland of where
to the motherland, and then so does the African.
My African ancestors. It shows their migration patterns. That's what this is, a migration pattern map.
Okay, I think it's different. It's about probably the same as the actual one that's done by African ancestry.
That could be mother and father. This is strictly paternal.
Paternal.
And the
paternal.
the African ancestry one can do it for the maternal side or for the paternal side.
Right, right.
Depending on whose saliva you send in.
Are you talking about the company African Ancestry?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I've done both.
Okay.
I did both.
I
So
did both too. I was just wondering
did,
how it's different, to this, because I'm seeing the motherland on this map, and it's fascinating.
this is looking at that, this is just my opinion, because we were migratory people. I just always say we could ended up anywhere in Africa when we started here. So maybe when you take that African ancestry test, because there's a lot of controversy out there about people taking African ancestry. Basically, it gives you a country, and it gives you the shared ancestry of a tribal group. This just gives you basically your haplogroup, if I'm correct. So
okay, gotcha.
Stop entering this discussion, because I don't want to give out any wrong information.
Okay.
The other reason why I asked Jerry to do this is because 35% of African American men trace their ancestry back to Europe. So any of us could have gone back to Europe because of our slave ancestry of the masters.
And that's very true, because I've done tests. I've got a bunch of DNA tests out there. And one of my cousins, when African Ancestry, the company started, I had tried to get various branches of the family to take the test. And so on the maternal side, I had my cousin take the test. And when that test came back, and we're testing just the paternal line, it came back as white. So we're talking back early 2000. So I'm like, what? When you look, I know what we look like. And then I had to really think about my maternal side. Yeah, you probably wouldn't have to go back about 3 generations to find that white male ancestor.
Yes.
So that's where I see African ancestry doing some things that maybe you'd have to really kind of research on the other companies, if I'm saying that correct. Yeah. So and I tested my brother-in-law, and he came back as Asian, Chinese.
Wow.
And so now, as you really kind of get into the history of the transatlantic slave, especially my brother-in-law, who's Chinese, and I was in Kenya in the summer and listening to that history, I said, oh, okay. First I thought it was the Chinese who were building the railroads in West Virginia. I said, that's a possibility. But then when you think of it globally, yeah, my brother-in-law's male ancestor could have been Chinese, which is really fascinating when you hear the slave trade in East Africa is different from the slave trade in West Africa. So I don't know, just my comment.
And the other item is, I
did it for my mom.
I wasn't aware of the reparations. I wasn't aware of the Reparations Task Force when I did this back then. But now this is another tool for me to have.
Yes.
So it's just more information, more of a tool. And again, the challenge is you got to pay for it. You got to pay. Nothing's free. But now I have the information, and thank you all for asking me to do that. And now I have to get a better understanding how to use it. And that's where I'm going to be talking to some other people who are more familiarized than me, but I did go out and get it. So I want to share that.
Family Tree DNA had a number of workshops at the last Roots Tech, and I'm sure they've got some old ones you can go back and look at, Jerry, and to kind of get some more information.
Yeah, they do have some on YDNA and haplogroups and haplotypes. So that would be interesting to do. I think I put one of those on my list to view.
Yeah.
And of course, we women cannot trace our paternal ancestry because we don't have a Y chromosome. So we have to go by what our brothers do.
One of my cousins that I matched, because 23andMe tests the Y as well. And one of my cousins that I matched, his Y came back to like some of the pharaohs in Egypt.
Certainly.
Mhm. All right.
Let me see here. And jack this up a little bit, but let me get it straight. Can you see this map on the ancestors of William Jack Moss?
Yes.
Okay, then you put it over here because Eddie always says put it in front of me so I don't have to be looking up at it. Let me make it big enough so you can see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
This is an
good.
example of a PDF file. Oops. Get them again. This is an example of a PDF file that was generated from Family Tree Maker that I have, and I have Family Tree Maker, and I have the support services. So sometimes I pay for the support services also. So I have a technician that works with me. If something I don't understand, he goes in the program, he takes over my computer, or I'll say, no, these people aren't showing up. I added these people to my tree and they're not showing up. So I'm doing a lot of investing to clean up my tree, duplicates and all that kind of information. So I'm focusing on my expertise, right, specializing in Family Tree Maker. And so here's my Generation 1 Jack Moss, but it goes all the way down to my kids. But this is an example what it looks like, and I'll be able to send this. There he is, the people, the third generation, and it goes all the way down to my children. So that's a family tree. Let me see another one to see. Where's the Brunels at? Brunel. See how many of these it shows. Okay, so here's the Brunels. Can you see the Brunels? Can you see the Brunels? Let me get them. Let me see.
Not yet.
Okay. Let me get this. Now,
how many of you use Family Tree Maker? It just syncs. It syncs. Your ancestry account syncs with Family Tree Maker, and Family Tree Maker brings the reports.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And Eddie uses it. So do you see it now? This descendants of Peter Burnell?
No.
You see that?
You're gonna have to stop sharing and reshare, Jerry.
Okay.
You gotta stop sharing and reshare.
Okay. Can you see it now?
No, not yet.
I'm gonna put it over.
There we go.
I do want you to see this though. I'll get it straight. Let me see. Okay, a new share. There. Now does it show up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna make it a little larger. Now, these are the descendants of Peter Burnell. That's too large. I mean, it's a little smaller. And here's generation one, and then it goes all the way down. Generation 2, 3, Edward Burnell. Here's the Kendricks, Edward and Kendricks, John Burnell. Isam Burnell, that's the common.
That's my great grandfather, Edward.
The junior?
Yeah.
There he is. And which one of these is Perry and all of them? And here's my grandmother, Ethel Mary. Ethel Mary. And so there she is. And then and it goes, there she is, John Lilly. This Elvira Mills, I didn't know this Elvira Mills, that was John Lilly's wife, and she lived in Omaha. She passed away in Omaha. And then is that your recollection?
Who, you talking to me?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think so. I don't think so. And you got a Cora Elvira. There are two Elviras, and they're getting an Elvira Kendricks mixed up with this Elvira Mills.
That's probably true. But like I said, I'm processing it and getting it straight. And that's why I'm showing it. But let me go down a little further before I put Cora Elvina.
No, oh yeah, I know that's wrong. Cora Elvira, that's my grandmother. Okay. She didn't marry John Mills. Okay, Jerry, I'll send you my updated version.
Okay, and then that's what this is for.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we have his Melvin, and it comes down his Ethel Burnell. This is what I do know is my grandmother's the Burnells, and these are her kids. Lloyd, and here's my father right here, and his family, and here's Wandale. So Wandale, I'll have to get the information from you about your mother and your information so I can add you to the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes all the way down to this generation's Gala. Okay, here's my father, Kenneth Moss. And my mother.
Hello.
And these are my brothers and sisters.
All right.
Come all the way down there. Yeah. And then here I am. And my wife and my son, Jerry Jr. And it comes down to Jerry Jr. And you saw
that's you.
Yeah, Jerry Jr. And here he is, Jerry.
I ain't worthless, Jerry.
Here's Jerry. He married Trish. And here's Ashley, the young girl you saw. That's Ashley.
He's not on point.
My daughter Bridget, and it comes down to my grandson.
That's your name,
and my
Vinny?
great granddaughter. So all
What's your
this is in that.
Vinny.
All this is in that PDF. So that's an example of what
you driving
get from
by
your
any
tree.
chance?
And so
where you going?
And as you saw, it just depends on the accuracy of your information. But you just verified something, Francis. Thank you. But
that is right.
Brenda, the information you have, I can add to the tree. Do you understand? And then I can give you a PDF of it. You publish it.
Using to take his medicine or something.
Family Tree DNA. It's very helpful program. And then you'll have it in your hand, just like that, all those generations. And so that's what I wanted to share with you. The accuracy, you have to flush it out. Say if I send each of you a copy of it, a PDF,
how far are you from the hospital?
You can change it. You can say, oh no, like Francis was saying, no, let's change this, that's not correct. And then I can change it. And then you'll have more accurate.
Okay, well, he's just going through the same stuff.
So that's what I wanted to share with you.
He's just going through the same old stuff.
Okay. Jerry.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're syncing Family Tree Maker. You're syncing Ancestry with Family Tree Maker.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll send you my updated version, which I'm always updating, and finding things wrong because because somewhere, I don't know, I guess
that's what's her name?
I've had to, people who were married.
Eddie,
Hold on.
Eddie, you gotta mute yourself, Eddie. Mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Oh, I'm on the phone. Okay, hold on.
Go ahead, Francis.
Them alphas.
Hey, go ahead and mute for me, Jerry. You can mute me.
No, go on, man. Just go and cut, mute yourself. Come on, Francis.
Yeah, I'll just have to clean up my files because I know there's some things with the software because where I had in there where they were married, but now they say they met, so I'm having to make those corrections. But I'll send you what I have.
And
I'll send you all 200 pages of Burnell's if you want.
It's just all I need is let's see. I think it's a JEDCOM, your tree. Not your DNA, your tree.
I'm using ants. No, I'm using ants. What is it? I'm syncing my trees. My tree is on Ancestry, and that Ancestry file, that just a tree, will sync to Family Tree Maker.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So it's at the top of Family Tree Makers. You can sync your files from Ancestry or FamilySearch.org. So I'm using Ancestry.
All I have to do is put it in the Family Tree Maker, and it's on Ancestry, and it syncs the two trees, and then I can print out a report.
Yeah,
I'm just letting you all know that's a service that I'm going to be helping you with. Those who don't have Family Tree Maker, and you see how valuable that tool is. That you can look on your screen and look in your hands, and you can discuss it like with Francis and say, "Oh, that's not correct. That's my mother." Well, hey, I can't argue with that. I got mine from, the darn computer, but I'm getting it from her. Yeah. But we're gonna have to tighten up our trees. That's pretty much what I'm saying. You got to tighten it up, and that's my private tree. So that's not one that's out there for everybody to get in and move around. That's my private one. So I'm glad I shared it, and I'm glad you were here, Francis.
Yeah, and that's my private tree that I'm syncing also, that really has my correct information on. It's not that tree that's attached to my DNA matches, even though I try to keep it as accurate as possible.
Hey, Jerry, can I explain Family Tree Maker a little bit better?
Mm-hmm. You can explain it, but I don't know if it's any better. You could have your opinion. Go ahead.
The Family Tree Maker is a third-party software that came out when Ancestry started doing allowing people to research their database. And Family Tree Maker, it does sync with Ancestry online, but it also gives you the opportunity to work offline just by building you a family tree. It gives you that option to build it even if you're not on Ancestry. And then it can generate any type of report that you're interested in having to explain your family lineage. It generates that type of report for you. So it's a very robust software that a lot of researchers could use, and it is beneficiary to those that do use it. So it's something that I always stress when I do the meetings, that if you can get it, because it makes it simple. You can follow your line a lot better, and you don't have to log into Ancestry online all the time to look at what you have researched.
And your modifications, right, Eddie?
Pardon me?
And you can modify it. It's simpler to modify duplications. Editing is better for editing that Family Tree Maker.
Yeah, and it allows you to edit your tree offline and then sync it back. And what it does, it writes over and add the corrections that you do.
So I have a question. If I make the correction on the offline tree and sync it to the online tree, will it erase stuff that's on the online tree?
It asks you to it in the process. It gives you a log of what's been changed, And if you want to delete it, you can say yes. And it does make updates, and it will delete what's on there for the correct information.
Okay.
But Michelle, you are able to back up your files. You can save your backups so that if you have to retrieve it, you can back it up in Family Tree Maker at any time and have backups in case.
So is it best to work from Family Tree Maker and update the online tree, or should I work on the online tree and back it up to the offline Family Tree Maker? Which one should I be working on and update?
What it does is give you the flexibility. You can work online and offline, and you can sync. When you sync it, it corrects it on offline and online. So you can work strictly from online. If you do it, if you don't have it at your disposal, you can do online corrections and research. And then when you pull up Family Tree Maker and sync it, it would correct everything. It'll add it to Family Tree Maker also. So you can work either way.
Okay.
You have flexibility.
And I can tell it when I want it to delete or not, or I can say keep it.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. That's it for me. If anybody has any closing comments, you're free to have the floor. And other than that, we're going to meet on the third Sunday at this time, 2:00. But like any closing comments, I thank everybody for coming and attending. It's been a long meeting, but I hope it's been informative for you. I'm glad everybody who attended. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Jerry. Good night.
All right, cuz.
Bye.
Thank you, Jerry.
Good
night,
Bye.
Bye, Michelle.
Bye.
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 I'm buying your book now.
Okay.
And stay in touch.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. How do we get out of here?
Take that.
Leave meeting.
Thanks for attending, son.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of here now.
That's all right. Just fumble around with it. You'll figure out that's what this whole process is there. I'm glad you was able to get in. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Jerry, thanks for taking the time to come in and share your views and listen to the meeting, and it adds value.
The thing about it, Pop, I can't even find the word sometimes, it's it's almost why wouldn't I come? I mean, it just people, they have funerals and they want to and jump around and have speeches and go through all this here rigmarole when the person is gone. But my daddy is here, so why not show up? Why not bring my baby? She want to see her papa.
It's good seeing Ashley.
Why not do the things that you say you wish you could have done? If somebody takes, the Lord comes and gets me today, Papa, I live a full life. There's nothing that I regret. There's nothing that I can say, I wish I would have. I wish I would have. I've done everything that I wanted to do in my lifetime up to this point. There's some more things I want to do, but there's nothing that I'm like, I wish. No.
What are some of the points that you got from the meeting? You know, I'm glad Ashley was there. What are some of the messages that you got from the meeting?
That it's important that people know where they came from. You know, everybody wants to know, where did I come from? Especially, you know, African American. I mean, all we know from coming up and our teachings in the school is we were slaves. You see, they don't teach us nothing outside of that. They let us know we were slaves, but they don't teach us about Africa. They don't teach us about the different continents of Africa. Africa is just not Africa. It's broken down in so many different variations. They're different people. They talk differently, they got different lingos. They got different, the way they live. Some on the coast live differently than the ones inland live. But nobody teaches anybody about Africa. This is where we came from. But who came and got us? And why did they come and get us? They came and got us for labor. But who thought that up? So now you got to go over here to Europe. They thought it up and they put it together. And then they actually did it. And they came and got us. And so now you want to flip it. Let me flip it forward some years, some hundreds of years. The South was moving real good because of our labor. Couldn't tell them nothing. And they got rich. They owned a lot of land. They owned these plantation mansions. The bureaucracy, they built it all on our free labor, us. And so then, no more. We can't have this. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? No. We need it. Why do you need it? Because
you know, that being said,
you got to start paying people.
I understand that.
No.
But what I wanted to say, in conclusion, you know, your participation was very much appreciated. And did you hear when Diane said she saw the generations, how you were there and Ashley, and you know, that's something that you pride yourself on, and you showed up. And so I just want to let you know I appreciate that greatly. And you too, Ashley, seeing your beautiful self. And let's have a family, Zoom meeting.
You going in and out, Pop.
I know, because that's why I'm gonna shut it down with my my internet.
Okay.
I'm gonna shut it down because I've had a couple of technical difficulties, but hey, you gotta press through.
Hey, where's Mom? What's she up to?
She's upstairs.
See if she can come down real quick.
No. So look, we gotta go. Hey, much love. Hey, see you, pretty girl. I love you. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Love you too.
All right. I'm glad you were here. Peace, son. Call me.
Oopsie.